Hello everyone. Today's poem is Xiaoya Deer by Anonymous. This is one of the four most important poems in the Book of Songs, so-called 诗经四始, the first four poem of the Book of Songs. So basically, the Book of Songs has three main categories. The wind of the state. So the first poem in the wind of state is 关雎, so we have that poem already. And this one is the first poem in Xiaoya. Xiaoya normally was called as Ya together with Daya, small ya or big ya. But when we're referring or to talking to the specific poems, we normally distinguish the small ya, 小呀, from the big ya, 大呀. So ya normally we consider that's the dialect or the language of the Zhou people. So that's the poems in the ya basically is the poem from the Zhou people, and of course is from the noble peoples. From the poem we can see that. And 鹿鸣 is the first poem in Xiaoya. From the category Ya, we know the poems in this category is by the decent, genuine, noble people of Zhou states. Actually, they are the ruling ethnic race in Zhou dynasty, and that's the core value of the Zhou dynasty as well. The poems in the Book of Songs has two major impacts to Chinese and even to some East Asian countries. First thing first, the vocabulary. And for today's people, when we gave the newborn baby names, the Book of Songs and some other classic literature is the major sources to find the name for that newborn baby. For example, the famous Nobel Prize winner Tu Youyou, her name is Youyou. Tu is her family name. Her name Youyou is from this poem we introduced today. And for another example, the Japanese Empire, they have the era name. So each new empire came up to the throne, there will be a new era name. So this emperor this year just ascended the throne. The era name is Riva. And this is very proud for Japanese because this is the first time that the name, the term, is not from the classic literature, Chinese classic literature. So they claim this term is from the Japanese classic literature. But before this emperor, all the era name is from the Chinese classic literature, including Book of Songs. Book of Songs is always the most important and most popular source for naming. The second impact actually is on the social, cultural, and mindset for Chinese. Even the majority of Chinese today, we have no idea how the Book of Songs influenced us. But give you an example, when Chinese is paying a visit to another person, we always take gift with us when we pay the visiting. So that's the tradition founded by the Book of Songs. And also, when as a host, I'm always treat my guest with a big dinner. And how the wonderful dinner, how the rich for the dinner, and how happiness about that dinner, that is part or a strong part of the relationship between the two. So as a host, I should make my best to make this dinner a happy dinner. So that's actually is from the book Songs, and we can see that from this point. Of course, there's so many impact and influences to today's Chinese by the Book of Songs, but there's so many arguments because we lost a lot of the things in the Book of Songs because the language, even the terms, has changed, evolved through the 3,000 years so much, and it's always a hard work for today's Chinese to have a good understanding to the Book of Songs. But the atmosphere and some very specific vocabularies, or the popular vocabulary, is still quite familiar for today's Chinese because we are always using them. The only difficulty is to understand the whole content of a specific poem. It's just like a decipher. You know something in a big puzzle, but there's still a lot of unknowns. So when we read the poem of Book of Songs, it's also always a decipher work for everyone. So I would do my own interpretation for now, maybe a little different from others. That's not a big deal. You can have your own decipher, your own interpretations. Okay, let's start. Xiaoya, 路名. So the title clearly indicates it belongs to the category of Xiaoya, the small ya, the poem from the Zhou noble people. 路名 is quite straightforward. The deer sings. 悠悠鹿鸣，食野之苹. So the deer sings the sound yu yu. Yu yu is the sound simulation of the sound of deer. And all those deers, they eat the grass on the wild. Ye actually is a very special term in the Zhou language because the kingdom, the land of the kingdom actually is divided into two parts. One part is Guo, the other part is Ye. So the people lived within the Guo or within the state. They are basically quite equivalent to today's citizens. And the people lives in the Ye, they are basically quite similar to the slaves. And we can see this whole poem is describing about a big party. So this big party is always held in a place so-called Piyong, and Piyong was used for a lot of the purpose for at the school, as the place to holding a big ceremony, as a place to holding a big dinner for the guest. So in this poem, they are holding the big party in Piyong, and we can see from this poem we know the Piyong is located a little bit away from the state or from the city, in someplace in the wild. And the Piyong, from the history book, we know it has a big hall and it has the water surrounded. So here actually is quite, the writings is quite realistic because the place, Piyong, the big hall, of course surrounded with ground, and the whole place, the Piyong whole place was surrounded by the water. And the deers is along the water, and eat the ping. The ping we know it's a with very flat, big leaves, and normally is grow near the water or in the water. But we have no idea what kind of plant or grass it is. Okay, the second sentence. 我有嘉宾，鼓瑟吹笙. So I have my guest now, and the 瑟 is one of the classic Chinese musical instrument, and the 笙 is the same thing. It's two. So here it says, I have my guest coming to my big dinners. So the music of 瑟 and the music of 鼓 was coming up, was along the ways. 吹笙鼓簧. The 笙 is a sort of the flute-like musical instrument. 簧 is the reed in that instrument. So 吹笙鼓簧, it vividly described the musicians was blowing the 笙 and the reed was make the sound vividly. 盛筐是将. At the same time, the guest, they hold the basket full of gift, and they take this all along the way. 是将 is a reverse in structure. So basically the right sequence is 将士. 将 is take, carry with all this basket of gift. 人之好我，是我周行. 人, so 人 here refers to the guest. The guest, why this guest like me, 好我, just like 君子好逑, 好 means like or love. So why this guest like me or love me, and they tell me the language of the Zhou language. The term 是 means telling or speaking. 行 means language. So 是我周行 means this guy, this guest is speaking to me with the Zhou language. So this implies the guest was coming from a far away place, speaking a different language, but he managed to learn the Zhou language, and he, with respect, so he talked to me with the Zhou language, and of course with love. Okay, the second paragraph. 悠悠鹿鸣，食野之蒿. So the deer sings pleasantly, and the deer is eating the grass on the wild. I have a very good guest from far away, so I 德音孔昭. 德音, the very magnificent, beautiful music is very clear and loud. 孔 is big, 昭 is very clear. 市民不挑，君子视则失效. 市民, 市 is a borrowed word, identical to 市, means this one, this people. This people is not frivolous. This is a very decent person. 君子视则失教. 君子 refers to the lord of the state, or the lord of a big land. So here we combine these two sentences together. The previous one, this person, this people, is not frivolous. Is talking to this lord, because this lord follows the rules. 视则, 则 is rules, the laws, and also this is a reverse structure. The normal sequence is 君子择士孝士. So here means why this guy is not frivolous, because this is a lord. The lord always follow the rules, regulations, and he also follow something. Follow whom? Of course, follow the Zhou people, follow the lord, the biggest lord of the Zhou dynasty, who was the lord of Zhou as well. So basically, there's many laws in the Zhou dynasty, but one is very exceptional. This one is a lord of the Zhou dynasty, and he was treated as the son of the sky, and all the other laws should be obedient to this Zhou lord. But here, there's a little bit implication. The writer is the lord of the Zhou, or someone just under him. So the lord from other states, from other place, is a little bit lower ranking to the Zhou lord. And this is the words, actually, the Zhou lord praise this guest, this lord from the far, far away place. You are a very decent person. You are never frivolous. And because as a lord, you always follow the rules, 是则是孝, and follow someone, or you follow us, you follow the Zhou people. So that's a very talent way to praise the other people, and on the other hand, they also build their own credibility. 我有旨酒，嘉宾试宴肴. So now the host come up. I have the best wine for you. 嘉宾, 嘉 is a verb. 嘉宾 means I'm praising you, my good guest. 试宴 means I make this big dinner. 宴 is also a borrowed word. It's similar or equivalent to the dining or dinner. So I have the best wine here, and I praise you, my guest, and I make this grand dinner for you. 以熬, for the purpose to tour around. So this is a little bit hard to understand. So that means the mindset is floating with happiness. So that's the status of have good wines and with the best friends, with the best music together. And then you are still not drunk, but you have a lot of wines impact already. That's the best status of wine drinking, and that's the status Zhou people are always goes for. So the third paragraph, 悠悠鹿鸣，食野之禽. So the same thing. The deer is still around. They sings like you, and they eating the grass on the wild. I have my wonderful guest, and I'm let my people to play the music instrument of 瑟 and 琴. 瑟 and 琴 is two Chinese musical instrument. 古琴古瑟，和乐且丹. So I'm playing the qin, I'm playing the se. 和乐 is not the very happy music. 和乐 is one of the procedure in the big dinner, because the Zhou dynasties is famous for their regulations and procedures for all kinds of events. The dining is one of the most important events in the social life and even in the state affairs. So this is a state affair because the two lords was meeting each other. This is a state affair. They are holding the most important ceremony, have the big dinner together. So that's why they have all kind of good wines, the music, and they also followed a very strict procedure. 和乐 is one of the procedure and is almost going to the last end of the procedure. So it's about to ending this big dinner. And the last piece of the music is very clear and lasting. So that the sound has a little implication. Their feelings, feelings towards each other, their goodness to each other will last as well. So that's all kinds of implications. 我有旨酒以宴乐嘉宾之心。I have the best one, 旨酒 the best one. I have the best ones. We have the best one together. The best ones is for the happiness and goodness to my guest's heart, feelings. So this actually point out very clearly, everything is for the happiness and for the goodness between us. So you can see if the two lords, they have a very good relationship, the two states, no matter they are at the same level or maybe one is a little above, the other one is submissive, but they still need to keep a very good relationship between. So as the highest lord of Zhou dynasty, he hold this big party for his submissive lord, and he have the purpose. The only purpose is make this big dinner to cherish my guest, to make my guest as happy as he could. So that's the way or the mindset of the Zhou people. But basically, there's no difference from today's normal Chinese. Whenever we have something, we have some arguments with some other people, or we want to build a relationship with other people, we will invite them to a dinner, and then we drink, and I would do my best to make this guy, this person, to have the best wines and to have a very happy dinner, and thus we can enhance our relationship and make our feelings or our goodness toward each other as long as we could, as strong as we could. So there's no difference from today's Chinese at all. To have a better understanding of this big dinner, and especially the procedure associated with this big dinner, now I will talk about something about the procedure, 周礼. So there's a very complex procedure about the dinners. It's a sort of the code of conduct, things like. And I will just introduce the part of the music part, so you will know how the procedure looks like. Especially in this poem, there's so many things about the music. So there's basically 4 steps in the music procedures. The first procedure is 笙歌. So after the host toast to the guest, 4 musicians will play the music in the hall, and 2 persons play 瑟, and 2 persons is singer, and song is 鹿鸣, this poem, and some other songs. So even the songs was detailed, defined which song should be sung at each step. So the first step is 笙歌, starting to sing with the 瑟. And the second is 声奏. So we can see in the poem 吹笙鼓簧. So in the poem, when it mentioned 吹笙鼓簧, it indicates it entered to the second step, 声奏, to play the music instrument of 笙, and the song was also defined is 南海, 白华, and some other delicate songs. And the third step is 间歌. 间歌, the hard translation is combined songs, which means the first step, the song is with 瑟, the second step is with 声. So the third step is they play one another. Let's see, the 瑟 play at first, and then the 声 play second, and then repeat. So they are not played together, it's played one by one. And one more important thing is 声 is out of the big halls. It's referred as 堂下, so it's outside of the big dining hall. And the third step is 和乐. So we can see in the poem the term is 和乐且单. So this clearly refers to the steps 和乐 here, and also it indicates the dining procedure and also the music procedure has getting to the last part 和乐, which means the 瑟 and 声 plays together, and this is a very lively and happy music, and the song is should be played is 关雎 and 鹊巢. So you can check my video on 关雎and 鹊巢. So that's the song should be played in the fourth step of the whole procedure. So as far as we know all these four steps, let's check back to the poems, and you can see that this poem actually is describing the whole procedure and follow the code of conduct, the code of the dinner of the Zhou dynasty. For today's people, we don't care too much about the procedures, what kind of music, what kind of the grass the deer was eating, but all these things is the fundamental parts or building blocks for a nice and big dinner, and the purpose is very clearly indicated in the last sentence, 以宴乐嘉宾之心, let my big dinner to cherish my guest's heart, make him happy, and make our relationship as long as we could, as stronger as we could. And also from this poem, the deer also has a very strong implication of the fortune, of the peace, of the happiness. So there's a lot of the poetry or literatures they refer to or writing about deer. So that's one of the main implication or allusion. What about a deer around? A side talk about deers. For Chinese, deer is the good luck, fortune, and happiness for Chinese through the history. And the white deer is the most lucky and most fortune deers in the literacy. And there is a place was so-called Bailuyuan in the east of Xi'an city, the white deer plateau. So, which means that place someday in the very ancient history, there's white deers there, and that place is a very lucky and very fortunate place. And also a very, very famous novel was entitled with that term, Bai Lu Yuan, and he's writing something about the past 100 years story about a village in that place, Bai Lu Yuan. And if you like to see the movie, there's a same titled movie according to that novel, Bai Lu Yuan, a very good movie. You can have a check on that movie as well. Okay, that's for today. 小雅路明，拜拜。